Well, now a case that's caused a sense of revulsion across the west of Scotland. The murder, for no apparent reason, of Shona Stevens. It happened 3 months ago, and detectives had hoped the inquiry, like most murder investigations, would have been completed quickly. But the attack on Shona still has too many elements of mystery, and hence tonight this nationwide appeal. The events took place in Ayrshire last November.
Hello, Kevin. Hi, John. What's the situation? We've got a young female. She's seriously injured. We thought it'd be easier to get you to lift her up to the hospital. Okay, where is she then? She's just over here. Right, let's go have a look.
Shona Stevens was a single parent. She'd been divorced when her daughter Candice was a baby and came home from abroad to live at her mother's house in Irvine.
Has Candice shown you the new book she brought home from school? She wanted me to read it straight away. I said we'd wait till bedtime.
Mom, the game's ready.
Just a minute.
Shona and Candice returned to this country from South Africa in 1988. Her marriage broke up at that time.
So it's drafts, is it?
I got bored of snakes and ladders.
Shona and Candice got on very well together.
Just one.
She cared a lot about Candice.
What's it called?
The page master.
Shona was a quiet, reserved girl and a private girl. We moved to South Africa when Shona was about 2 years old, and she went to school there, from junior school to secondary school. She was top of her class always. She attained her school colours, her academic colours, which was quite an achievement.
If I saw things from Richard's point of view, I'd be so afraid of accidents that I'd never leave my room, Ellen Palin muttered.
This is Bawtry Hill Park in Irvine, the route between Shona's home and the shops. Shona walked through here several times a day, and in late October, a woman who works in the precinct remembers seeing Shona with a man police now need to trace.
I stepped out just to have a cigarette and I saw Shona walking past. She got to the steps and then all of a sudden this chap was almost at her heels. He said a few words to her and then the next thing he said, "See you," and Shona carried on up to the top of the steps.
Shona had quite a small group of friends, and she was never the type to stop and talk just to anyone on the street, any passerby.
What do you think of this? Not sure of the pattern. I'm going to the shops. Do you want anything?
No, I don't think so.
Won't be long.
Thursday, the 10th of November, shortly before 1 o'clock. As usual, Shona made her way through Bawtry Hill Park towards the precinct.
£82, please. There you go. 18p, thank you.
A few shops away was Doug McConaughey.
Well, it was shortly after one when I left the house. I went into the bookies to put a wee line on.
Good afternoon.
The usual.
Right, would you like an early price?
All right, please. Oh, it's better today.
It is.
It was freezing yesterday.
It's lovely today. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Shona then went back through Bawtry Hill Park.
I was going down the hill and I seen the dog coming up and the man behind it. And I just keep watching the dog because it was in a loose, And the dog was about 12 or 14 feet in front of him. And when the dog passed, I got a glimpse of the man and he says hi, and I says hi. I carried on.
This is a potentially important witness who's never been traced.
A few minutes later, I was walking along, I seen a girl lying in the woods.
Look, can you ring for the police and an ambulance? I've just come through the wood and there's a woman lying there and she's very badly hurt.
Shona was unconscious and had been so severely beaten that an air ambulance was called in from Prestwick Airport. Shona never regained consciousness. She died 3 days later at Glasgow's Southern General Hospital. Bob Lauder, you've made enormous number of inquiries locally. It's now 3 months removed from the murder. How can people help at this stage?
We've still got lots of people who are in the park who haven't yet come forward. We're still turning these people up. It's important that everyone who was in the park that day comes forward and speaks to us and gives us the opportunity to interview them.
Even if they don't think they saw anything important?
Even if they didn't think in their mind they saw anything important, it's important that we get the opportunity to assess that.
Now, there were some people in that reconstruction that plainly are key people you need to talk about. The man who spoke to her a couple of weeks beforehand, before this happened. Have you got any other description of this man?
The man is in his 30s. He was 5'8" in height. He was medium build, short dark hair, dressed casually. Obviously knew Shona. We haven't traced him yet. He may know other people with whom Shona was acquainted, and we need to trace everyone who knew her.
OK, other people in the park. We saw the guy with the dog, a Doberman, I think it was. There were other people who weren't shown in that reconstruction. There was a chap with a bike at one stage that you needed to trace.
Yes, there was. The man was seen entering the park from another direction, going towards where Shona was attacked, about 5 to 7 minutes after 1 o'clock. He is a potentially vital witness. He may have seen Shona and anyone else who was there at that time.
And a man seen emerging from the park via some bushes at the far end of the park.
Yes, there was a man, again, he's 35 to 40 years of age, medium build, 5'9". He had fair hair, which was gelled, and he was coming from the direction, again, where Shona was attacked, and it's very important to trace him.
Now, you think the key to this lies in the local community, but just let's make this clear. These are witnesses you're looking for, they are not suspects.
Yes. We want to get information from anyone who was in that park. We need to speak to everyone who was there, and these people are vital witnesses to us. The community really must help us and come forward and tell us everything they know about that morning in that park.
This man is plainly very dangerous. Please, if you can help, call us here, 0500 600 600. If you recognise yourself as one of those potential witnesses featured in the reconstruction, or if you were simply in Bawtry Hill Park on Thursday the 10th of November, please call us here in the studio. Or you can ring the Instant Room in Kilmarnock, that's 01 563 572 217. That's 01 563, the code for Kilmarnock, 572 217.
I'm Detective Superintendent Paul Livingston, and I'm appealing for information following the murder of Shona Stevens from Alder Green, Irvine, 25 years ago. Shona was 31 years of age when she was found dead on one of the footpaths located near to the rear of Alder Green in the Bawtry Hill Park area on Thursday the 10th of November 1994. Investigating officers still believe that the answer to Shona's murder lies within the local community, and we hope that this appeal will help us lead to those responsible. About 1:05 on the day of Shona's murder, we know that she attended a local co-op store which was located here within Bawtry Hill Shopping Centre before she left on foot. Shona was last seen alone approximately 5 minutes later at 1:10 on Towlands Road, which is adjacent to the shopping centre. This is a route that she would regularly take back to her home. The footpath that Shona was murdered on was used on a regular basis by members of the public to access Bawtry Hill Shopping Centre, and we believe that someone may have vital information that will help bring this investigation to a close. About 1:20 that afternoon, Shona was then found approximately 200 yards from her home within an area of trees and bushes not far from the footpath behind me. She had been subject to a brutal and frenzied attack and had suffered serious head injuries that ultimately resulted in her death. Shona, who lived with her mother, Mary, and her 7-year-old daughter, was known in the local community as a quiet woman. Shona was a young mother who was subject to an unprovoked attack that has left her family totally devastated, and we want to trace those responsible. I would therefore urge anyone that may be able to provide any information in regards to this case to please get in contact with the police.
Police Scotland are appealing for the public's help as details of an item found at the scene of a fatal attack on Shona Stevens in 1994 are released. Shona, aged 31, was found on a footpath located near to the rear of Alder Green in the Butcher Hill Park area of Irvine on the 10th of November 1994. The mum of one had sustained serious head injuries and died in hospital days later. As part of a recent ongoing review into the case by Police Scotland, officers believe that this item may be of significance and are asking for the community's help. The item looks like it could have come off a novelty keyring and was found at the scene during the initial forensic examination. We know that this item didn't belong to Shona, and whilst we can't be sure of its origins, we believe it may hold significance to this case. Although this item was found almost 27 years ago, it's very distinctive and could prove vital to our inquiries. I'm urging anyone with any information to come forward and help us to get justice for Shona.